Well, hello and welcome to Stopbox here from Resourcing Tomorrow in London. I'm here with Rana Zumi from the Future Minerals Forum. Thank you very much for taking a couple of minutes to talk to us today. Just the first question, just tell me a little bit about the Future Minerals Forum and the work that you do.
Actually, Future Mineral Forum invited all the stakeholders in mining world to come and to join us to the third version of Future Mineral Forums 2024 January, while we hosted already 2023 and 2022 with the biggest ministerial roundtable in this discussion. And there is a different outcome about the responsible mining and the battery using, and a lot of geology and miners were there. And this year we're looking forward to have all this outcome to be action. And to be honest, the last version was so successful with more than 60 agreements and MOUs signed, and most of the joint venture happened last year is make us ambitious to see more this year. Welcome everyone to Saudi and see you in Riyadh January 2024.
Okay, and in terms of the sort of sector in general, the mining sector, what sense are you getting about the sort of the sentiment or the vibes in the sector? Do you see the sector sort of stagnating? Do you see interest increasing? You know, talking about governments, that kind of thing, strategic policies that might be in place. Can you give us an idea of perhaps where you feel the sector is going?
Actually, in two words, I can describe the situation now in Saudi in all what you mentioned. It's the land of opportunity for everyone. So all the stakeholders, whoever the role in mining, they will find what they look for there.
In Saudi?
In Saudi.
So you think Saudi's got a really great future?
Of course, and congratulations to us that we win yesterday to be the Riyadh at the Expo 2030.
Okay. Is that a big, high on the agenda of the Saudi government to sort of be open for business in the mining sector?
Yes, of course, and the evidence that our Vice Minister and Minister is here with us in Money and Mine, they are interested. They are answering the question and they are meeting the leader in the world of mining here in Money and Mine.
Well, thank you very much for that. That's good I have heard about the future of Saudi, and I know there's a few companies listed in the London Stock Exchange who are looking for projects in Saudi, so it's good to hear that it's been taken very seriously.
You're welcome.
But thank you very much for your time. I'm going to go and interview some of the people. Good luck with the rest of the show. Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? Of course, some people will know Power Metal Resources, who've got lots of projects going on, and Sean Wade is very keen to get involved with the Saudis there. We've heard a lot about the Saudis wanting to perhaps, diversify away from perhaps the oil side of things and more into other mining and exploration projects. But what I'd like to do now, we're going to walk over, excuse me if I can squeeze through. We're just going to go to speak to GoviEx Uranium, who we spoke to at the Mines and Money Connect earlier in the year. I'd just like to catch up with Daniel from GoviEx Uranium. How are you doing? Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, no problem at all.
So, we spoke a few months ago,
Yep.
and a lot has happened since then, hasn't it? The big thing is the coup, of course, in your major project. So, how are you dealing with that?
Yeah, unfortunately, July 26th, we had a coup, and at that point, we had just got our last LOI for the debt. The key problem that we now have is that the ECOWAS, the West African states came out and fully sanctioned the country. So we can't get anything in, we can't get anything out. The banking system is under sanction as well. So it's pretty well put us onto pause from dealing with the project from that point of view. We continue to talk to the lenders because fortunately for us, they're export credit DFI lenders, so they're very sticky. Once they're on, they kind of want to keep involved in the project. They obviously can't do very much, but at the same time we're dealing with the government, so we're updating our ESIA, dealing with other permits we're going to need when we're in operation. But really from a moving forward point of view, pretty well in stasis while we wait for a resolution.
Okay. So quite disappointing really, but there's nothing you can do about geopolitical risk, is there really?
No, not really. We continue to deal with the government that's there and look after the project. The good thing for us, though, is the uranium price has gone up to $80 a pound. So when this thing all resolves in some form, we're going to be in a lot stronger position to go forward. And we know that our lenders are still there waiting for us to get a resolution. They're working on another project in the country anyway, who are ahead of us. So actually, they're doing all the hard yards for us when we turn up, and they'll have already done the learning for us, which is fantastic. The other thing is we obviously had a second project.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point, isn't it? You want to spread your risk, because if you've got different jurisdictions, when something like this happens, you've got other projects to fall back onto. So in Zambia then, the Muntanga project, that's where your focus is going to be now, is it?
Well, I mean, that's where we're dealing with. It was already a project that was in our pipeline, and we were already working on it, but most investors associated us with Madawela, our Nigerian project, and that's all they ever talked about, and completely forgot we have this very simple open pit heap leach project down in Zambia. Already permitted. We're just taking it from a PEA straight to an FS. FS will be finished in August next year. With the uranium price where it is, we can just get straight onto that debt financing, offtake. And one thing, it's not just the equity side that like the structure. The off-takers like the fact that we had two projects as well. We were able to offer up metal for either project when we got into off-take conversation. So that was important. With the prices now, the valuation is great. We're more than covered just by the Muntanga project. So anyone investing in GoviEx at the moment is pretty well getting Niger for free. Okay. And so if we get a resolution on the political situation, which we have to, some kind of resolution has to come around, that is a full uplift in its own right.
And then you can just almost carry on where you left off there.
Oh, exactly, and that would be totally the plan. And we'll just move forward with both projects, and have two producing projects in Africa.
And in Zambia, then, do you say it's a heap leach, simple heap leach?
Yeah, it's a heap leach operation, so it's really simple. Yeah. It benefits for a number of things. One, it's soft rocks, so it's really easy to crush and mine. Two, it's very low acid consuming. It's like a tenth the acid consumption of Niger. In a country that produces acid anyway out of the copper belt, we're right next to the Kariba Dam, so all our power is going to be hydropower and coming in relatively cheap as well. So it's a really great, simple project. Yeah, grades are lower than Niger, but all of its cost aspects are much, much lower. And it's a low capex project as well.
And do you understand much about the deposit at the moment, or is there some more geological?
Oh, no, a lot of work's been done on that project, and it's a really simple project. Recoveries are great on it as well, and a lot of exploration upside still. So we've just spent the last 2 years infill drilling the major deposit, and actually as we infill drilled, the deposit got bigger. Which was not what we were expecting. We were just trying to upgrade but it actually grew by about almost 18%. So we had to go back and drill again to infill the bit that it grew. So, it just shows the solidity of that deposit as well going forward. And I've got a good team there working on that project.
And feasibility study by August next year, you say? Yeah, so a lot of work. That's where your focus is going to be for the start of next year, really.
Yeah, that's a big part of my focus at the moment, is getting that done. We're using consultants in Zambia and in South Africa. The nice thing is it is such a simple project that I don't have a lot to think about, and it's something I can do very easily.
Okay. And in terms of the uranium price, then of course that's done very well. Would you want to make what's the vibe you're getting? Do you see it going further higher?
Oh yeah, the spot market is there because it's very tight, and it's not going to get any less tight in the near term. The utilities are pretty well gone off market. They're looking for long-term contracts to secure. That gap gets worse going forward, so they really are worrying about where it's coming from, which has made the spot market even tighter. The bidders have been pushing prices up whenever they want to sell, so the sellers are having to chase price all the time going forward. Yeah, I mean, we're at that quiet time at the end of the year, so who knows what will happen between the year end, but I think the probability would probably even higher by year end.
Is it potential then that you could get into production fairly swiftly, or do we have to really wait for that feasibility study to show us?
Wait for the feasibility study to know what I'm actually going to build, and also to get it financed properly to go forward. But getting those contracts, getting that financing is going to be so much easier when you're putting in $70, $80, $90 pricing into your model, and then when you're having that and it's a better conversation with your lenders or your equity side as well when you're doing it at an $80 uranium price than when you were trying to persuade people at a $55 uranium price it was going to get better.
And what's Zambia like then one, to do business in, but secondly, in terms of uranium, because most people will associate good uranium deposits in Saskatchewan, for example, northern Canada, less perhaps known in the African countries.
Well, you've actually got the whole Karoo Rift structure, which goes all the way from Tanzania all the way through to South Africa. It's a massive structure. And you've got people like Kailakarium, Makuja River, already sitting on those structures as well. So it's well there. And I think the other point I would make here, and it comes back to, we haven't got the grade that you get out of Saskatchewan, but it's also a very simple project. It hasn't got the complexity. I haven't got to go down deep underground. I haven't got to freeze the rock. All of these issues. I'm not working at minus 50 in the middle of winter. I'm working on a project that is just very shallow, low strip ratio, soft rock in simple mining. So, there's a lot has to be taken into that aspect of it as well.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing how things go going through to August. Can we expect some other key developments before we approach that deadline of getting the feasibility study sorted?
Well, let's see what comes out of Niger in the next few months. I think we'll see some change there. We'll give updates out of the project at Matanga as we go forward as well. But the big catalyst for Matanga is going to be that study when it comes out.
Indeed. And are you funded to get through to that point?
We're going to have to raise some money next year. We tend to raise money when we need it, but we'll come out for some at that stage. But our burn rate's dropping all the time until we start construction.
And just a final thought, then you're here again at Resourcing Tomorrow. Have you found much interest in the project? In the company, because I know getting a slot with you today was a little bit tricky. You're a pretty busy guy.
Well, yesterday I had half-hour meetings from 9 o'clock till 4 o'clock without a break. I was really glad when somebody didn't turn up, so I could go to the bar.
So there's a lot of interest in the company and uranium as well.
Oh, absolutely. Uranium is one investor said to me, it's the only bull market out there at the moment.
Possibly true.
Yeah, absolutely. So, really, really positive, really solid meeting structure going through, and a great conference.
Well, on that note, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for your time again today, Daniel from GoviEx Uranium, here from Mines and Money, Resourcing Tomorrow in London.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.